Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to say today and for this week's video, we're gonna keep on going with our series of FIFA because as you may know or not yet, this is the World Cup. So all the games are happening right now. So we talked a little bit about some previous teams, but for today, we're gonna focus on l'équipe Suisse, which is Switzerland. So we're going to see everything related to that team, that country, what are their symbols, what's their role in the World Cup, what did they do in the previous games. We're going to focus a little bit on everything, but always related to FIFA and soccer. So let's start with table des matières. What we're going to see in this video today. First thing is la Suisse, découverte du pays. So Switzerland, discovery of the country. So we're going to see a little bit what's this country about, what are everything that might be related to it. So you can have some clues related to Switzerland. Then we're going to focus on l'équipe nationale suisse, of course, the national Switzerland team. So we're going to focus on the theme of FIFA and focus on the team. Then, of course, a little bit of the World Cup, la Coupe du Monde. Then l'histoire de la Suisse au mondial, meaning the history of the Switzerland team in the World Cup. Some vocabulary at the end. And of course, as always, a little easy exercise for you to practice on all the vocabs that we will have studied in this class. And a final exercise at the end of this video. So, let's just start straight away with les objectifs, as usual, which is the goals. So, what are the goals of this video? À la fin de la séance, je peux, meaning at the end of this sequence of this video, I can présenter une équipe de football, of course, to introduce a soccer team. Then, parler d'un pays et des symboles, being able to talk about a country and its symbols. Comprendre une courte histoire sportive, being able to understand a small sports history, sport little event that happened for a country in the past, little history, pretty small, pretty short, pretty easy. Then utiliser le vocabulaire du football, being able to use the soccer's or the football's vocab. So we're going to see everything related to that topic. And donner mon opinion sur une équipe, meaning being able to give my personal opinion on a team. So that is pretty much it for today's video. This is what we're going to see today. Let's just start right now. First, la Suisse. Of course, la Suisse. This is today's country and all week's country, Switzerland. Keep in mind that in French, every time you're focusing on country's name, you have to keep the pronoun because all of our countries in French, they're either masculine or feminine. Switzerland is literally translated by Suisse, and it's a feminine country, so you need to have the in front, which is the la. La Suisse, Switzerland. La Suisse est un pays d'Europe. Of course, Switzerland is a country in Europe. Sa capitale est Berne. Its capital is called Bern. In French, we say Berne. Les couleurs du drapeau sont rouge et blanc. The colors of the Switzerland flag are red and white. Les habitants sont les Suisses et les Suissesses. So we call the locals Suisse and Suissesses for the masculine and the feminine. And then la Suisse possède 4 langues officielles. This is pretty rare, but for Switzerland, this country has 4 official languages. L'allemand, German, le français, French, l'italien, Italian, et le romanche. C'est romanche. It's another language. So 4 official languages for one same country. Pretty good, right? Now focus on les symboles. The symbols. What are the symbols of this country? First, le drapeau suisse, which is, of course, the Switzerland's flag. Le drapeau suisse est rouge, meaning the flag is red. Il possède une croix blanche au centre, meaning it owns a white cross in the center of this flag. So it's fully red and there's just a white cross in the middle. C'est un symbole important du pays. So this white cross is an important symbol representing the country, and you see that symbol not even just on the flag, but in a lot of different places. Then la Suisse est connue pour, meaning Switzerland is known for. Les montagnes, of course, the mountains. There are some pretty fire mountains if you love skiing and snowboarding. Crazy landscape, so it's pretty known for how it's placed because it's just near the Alps, les Alpes too, chain of mountains. So if you love skiing, you should definitely go there. Then Switzerland is known for the chocolate, of course. I don't know if you heard about it, but the delicious chocolate from Switzerland is actually pretty crazy, pretty good. So if you go to Switzerland, try those chocolate out there because they're pretty good. And les montres, the watches. So these are what Switzerland is known for, but of course, there's a lot of other things, but the mountain and the chocolate, you go there for that, you're not disappointed. Then focus on l'équipe nationale, which is the national team. La Nati est le nom de l'équipe nationale suisse au football, meaning Nati is the nickname of the Switzerland national team. This is how they call themselves, and this is how people who know the Switzerland team would call the team. Nati. Elle représente la Suisse dans les grandes compétitions internationales. Meaning Nati, so the Nati team represents Switzerland in the big international competition. So, okay. Les joueurs portent un maillot rouge. As you may know, if you remember the colors of the flag. Here, same thing, the players wear a red jersey, a white short, et le drapeau suisse sur leur équipement, of course. The Switzerland flag on their gear or on their jersey. So, of course, symbol, they have to show it to show that they're from Switzerland. So you can have those colors and this cross everywhere. Now, a little short history. Histoire courte. Let's focus on the numbers. Here we say 1934. 1934, we do one by one. So we say 1934. 1934, la Suisse participe pour la première fois à la Coupe du Monde. So, 1934, Switzerland participates for the first time to the World Cup. 1934, 1938 et 1954. One more time. 1934, 1938 et 1954. Practice those numbers with me. La Suisse atteint les quarts de finale, meaning Switzerland reached the quarters of final. Super great score. Even you see for the first year, 1934, first time playing it, they're in the quarters. Crazy. And now we have 1954, la Suisse organise la Coupe du Monde. 1954, Switzerland organizes the World Cup, meaning the World Cup is happening in their home country. And then, 2022, la Suisse atteint les huitièmes de finale. La Suisse est une équipe régulière dans les compétitions internationales. Meaning here in 2022, Switzerland reaches eighth of final, and it's a pretty good team. I mean, for like most of the competitions, they go pretty far. They have good players, it's a strong team, and pretty regular, so we know usually where to find them pretty at the end of the competition. So they're killing it. Now I want to focus a little more on les joueurs, which is the players, and especially about soccer. We have le gardien the goalkeeper. Il protège le but. Of course, he protects the goal. Then le défenseur. We call the défenseur someone qui arrête les attaques adverses, meaning who stops the attacks from the other team. So of course, défenseur, you just help your goalkeeper. You're here to like try to defend your team. Then we have le milieu de terrain, which is in the middle of the field. What is that? Il organise le jeu, meaning he's the one who like he can like have not all the types of like positions, but he can like be in a little more like ahead and in the front to like attack, or it can be a little bit in the back and they can give some passes. They're pretty diverse when it comes to the middle of the field. And then we have l'attaquant, which of course is the player who attacks, meaning he's the one trying to score. So you go in the front, go, just try to fire as much as you can and score it. So as you know, every player has this specific role with their specific name, and they have to respect a different place in the game, place in the field, and they have their specific role. So that is pretty much it for the players. And now it's your time to shine and try to complete this exercise. So as usual, made you some phrases and you have to complete with the right word. But I try to make it a little more complicated than usual because usually I write you down the vocab, and I feel like here you don't really need it. You seem pretty confident when it comes to like those exercises. So I didn't write you anything to help. You just have the phrase and you try to match a word that could be the right fit for this phrase. There's nothing wrong about it. As long as it makes sense, that is pretty good. So let's just read it together and then I'm going to let you do your work. Numéro 1. La Suisse joue au. Le maillot suisse est. La Coupe du monde est une compétition de. Les joueurs utilisent un. La nature représente le pays de. And that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope that you guys liked it. If it, please don't forget to put a little thumbs up and a like and a comment. It's always super cool. We're reading everything. And last but not least, don't forget that every week we're doing those challenges. Those week's challenges are about the Switzerland team on FIFA and soccer, but not only. So we made you those challenges. So if you want to practice on your vocab and oral understanding, through those little exercises on that specific topic, make sure that you text us either in the comments or on our social media so that we can send you the link and then help you practice even more. I'm wishing you all a good end of your day, end of your week, and I'm seeing you next week for another video. Salut!